Hey, I hope you're doing well today. And today I want to show you how we can execute other workflows from a parent agent. Okay, so we're going to control the parent agent, which then controls the child agents. Now, in this case, the child agent is going to be making videos for us. And I just want to show you a few little steps and tricks along the way to get this working really, really well. And I'll just give you some reasons of why we might actually use this as well. Now, for a big important one here, I'll just show you really quickly as well. Okay, so we'll go grab an AI agent. Okay, now within the settings here for the AI agent, we have the system message. Okay, so this is the prompt that the agent is going to be understanding and reading before proceeding with the tasks. Okay, now if this prompt here is short, concise, and precise, okay, it is going to be more reliable and very, very consistent in delivering the results that we're after. Okay, but the second reason why is because if you've seen some people, they might have prompts which are, like so long, like coming all the way down here. And every time they execute this AI agent, it is going through every single character and token within that prompt, which is just increasing your costs. Okay, and we don't want increased costs, right? We want things to be cheaper. So there's actually two negatives here. It's not only costing us more, but it's also creating a lot more confusion as well for our agent, for our LLM model. Okay, so that's pretty much the main reasons why we don't want to be doing that. All right, now first things first, what we want to do is obviously we want to create a new workflow. Okay, so hopefully you've already created a new workflow at this point, and then I want you to also create an extra workflow. Okay, so we're going to have two workflows. So I've just labeled this one as a child agent just so you can clearly see it. And then I also have the parent agent here, so you can clearly see that as well. Okay. Now, first things first, we do want to get a trigger. So in this case, we're just going to use the on-chat message, and we can click back here. We can press Control and just zoom out a bit with our scroll on our mouse. Okay. Now we'll just drag it around. Okay. Now, next step, we want to click on the plus sign. Click Advanced AI and then AI Agent. And we'll click that right now. Now we'll just leave this as is for now. So we'll go back and we want to select a model. Now for parent agents, you don't necessarily have to have models which are extremely expensive and extremely smart or anything like that. So what you're looking for are models which are not only fast, but also very, very accurate and can also function call. Because don't forget, if we look at like DeepSeek here, for instance, if we use this, it cannot actually access other tools, okay, with the current state of DeepSeek. It can if you use some custom local models that people have made, but for the current state here, it won't work. So we're going to use ChatGPT 4o Mini, okay, because not only is this very, very cheap, it's very accurate and it's very precise, and this is what you want, okay. So we'll jump back over here. We've created our little OpenAI chat model here as well, okay. So just ensure you've got your credentials set up, everything like that. Now, if you don't have your credentials set up, do look into my videos about that as well with the previous beginner courses. So we'll just move this around, make it all nice and neat. We'll add a memory node as well. Again, very simple. We can just use a simple memory right here. Context window length, we can set it at 5. That's absolutely fine for now. We'll need it up again. Okay. And then now we're going to click this tool plus. And this is where we want to call N8N workflow tool. So this is what's going to actually call another workflow, in this case, the child agent, and actually execute this workflow directly from our parent agent. And this is how everything is going to come together and work. Okay, so we'll click call N8N workflow tool. All right, we have that set up. We'll move it down, make it all nice and pretty. We're going to click and open this. Now for the name, just think, okay, what is the purpose of this actual node and who is it calling? Think about it. Oh, well, it's going to call the child agent, so let's just call it create videos. Okay. For the name, we can just say create underscore videos. And then the description, which is very, very important. So we have to make sure that this description here is very clear to the agent as well. So we can just say, call this tool for queries related to generating videos, something like that. Okay, So that can be a very simple way. Because don't forget, we're not telling this agent here, the parent agent, to make the video. We're telling it to send and execute this node so it passes the information to our child agent, which then would perform the video generation. Okay, so now from the source, you can leave that as is. And the workflow, this is where you want to choose your other workflow. Okay, so as you can see here, I have course, well, this is just the name I've set for it. Course child agent. Okay, so I'll just save that to make sure that's all updated as well. Now if I jump over here, and we're just going to go all the way through, and there we go, course child agent. So that's also now connected to this other workflow. Now nothing will execute yet if I let's say spoke with the agent, right? But that's what we're going to set up in a second as well. All right, so we've got that set up. Now we want to set up our child agent. So we're going to click the plus sign right here. We're just going to type execute, and then we can see execute sub workflow. We're going to click on that. Okay. Now, when executed by another workflow. Okay, so that's exactly the one that we want. We're going to click that. We're going to open that. And now, since we're doing video generation, let's perhaps have some input schemas here which relate to that as well from our parent agent. So let's think about it. If I want to generate videos, what information from the parent agent would I want it to send to this child agent? Okay, in my opinion, possibly, yeah, it would be the topic. What kind of video and everything do we want to make? So we can set something like this. Let's just say, so it might be something like the style of video. We might also have the idea, okay? So we can just leave these as strings for now as well. That's absolutely fine. Now we have a few workflow input schemas here. Okay, so we're going to click the plus sign. So we'll click that, and now we'll make an agent. AI agent, I'll set that up. We'll just go back for now. And again, in this case, we want to choose the chat model. But since this one here is performing maybe more creative type of tasks, we might change the model here. So we might actually go with Claude in this case. And Claude 3.7 Sonnet is on here now as well. If you haven't updated your N8N yet, you better do that now. But then we also have 3.5 Sonnet if we want to go for something cheaper. So in this case, I think for how basic this is, we can just use 3.5 Sonnet. That's absolutely fine. We'll come back over here, move it around. Now we can see the memory here, right? So if I actually put the memory in, this actual session ID here is based on the chat input normally, okay? Now, since we don't actually have a chat input here, where is it going to get its session ID? Now, if we wanted to do this, what we would have to do is actually set the session ID manually. So we would go here and we would type in this, press expression, go like this here, and then generally most of the time you'll see earlier nodes when executed by another workflow. Boom, we can click that. Now there's nothing in there obviously because I haven't sent anything, but now it's getting memory based on the queries sent via the parent agent straight directly to this node right here. So that's where it's going to be kind of getting its memory from. Okay, now we have that set up there. Let's save it, and now we're going to go back to our parent agent, and then we see create videos, the one we created before. And you see the style and idea. So this is actually showing up now in the call another N8N workflow node, okay? And these are the actual input schemas that we set before, okay? So in this case, we can just say style, and you see this button here, just press that, absolutely fine. Press that. If you do want to see what it's actually putting in, it's just from AI, and then brackets, style, string. And then this one would be the same thing, but for idea, okay? So we don't really have to worry too much about, what should I put in here? Press the button, it's all set and ready to go. We'll go back to our child agent here. And what I want this child agent to do is create prompts, okay? So it's not, this actual agent itself is not actually the one generating the images. What it's doing is creating the prompts for us, okay? So I think for this case, what we would need is also a require specific output format. So I want you to activate that because that allows us now to create an output parser, and we want to create the structured output parser right here. Now you see a little bit of JSON right here. Don't get scared. Okay, so all I would suggest you do most of the time is just something like this. Now, since this is creating prompts, okay, and we might have several prompts here, okay, and we might have several prompts here. So let's just change the name from state to prompts, and then this California, we can just take that out, put a curly bracket, press enter, come down, and then we want to create something else. So we can say image 1, image prompt. Okay, and then at this point what we can do is just copy this one, paste it again. Let's say we want to create 5, right? We jump in here, we change this to 3, 4, and 5, and then we'll change this to 3, 4, and 5. And you see this little comma? Delete that, and then we need a space, and then we need to close it off as well, and then there we go. So now it's going to create 5 image prompts, all different, okay, and nested within the prompts. Okay, so that's what we want, and that's going to be important because we're going to take the images and then one by one create the images as per the prompts, okay, going from 1 to 5. Now, if we see here as well, we don't have anything connected to actually create the images themselves, okay? So, number one, what we want to do, we don't have any prompts in here yet, you see? So, we need to get some information so we can actually make that prompt a little bit better and also a lot more precise. So the first thing we're going to do, since this is all connected now, I'll just make sure to save everything, make sure you do as well. All right, now let's configure the prompt for our parent agent. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be very, very simple. We'll just click Add Option, System Message, press Expression, and then this little button there, press that. Now, you can say you are a helpful assistant, yeah, because it is an assistant, right? And then we can say you will be routing user queries to the correct tool. Then we can just say the tool names and a little bit more descriptions as well, okay? And actually what I'll do here as well is just give the role, and right here I'll give the task, and then this allows me now to create the instructions. And in here we can say, so what was the name? It's create videos. So I can just say right here, create videos. 1, right. Route the style and idea from the user's query to the create videos tool. Okay? Something as simple as that. Now we'll come back. All right, now we'll just give it a save. So first things first, if we come back over to our child agent, okay, and if we click this, you'll see that the prompt user message is coming from JSON chat input. Now there's no chat input here because it's actually being executed by this. The query that it's receiving is received by this here, which is from the parent agent, which is then delivering that query and then executing this based on our request, okay? So we want to click on connected chat trigger here and then go to define below, all right? And we'll click on expression, and then we can see here, if we open that up, we can see when executed by another workflow. Now, this doesn't have any information yet because we actually need this right here, which is the style and the idea. Now, I'll show you an easy way to get that as well, okay? So you don't have to figure it all out yourself. So first thing we can do, and this won't actually work, but what we'll do is actually just send a message to this child agent so we can get some data to work with. So we can just say, and give it an idea and to make prompts and everything, but it won't actually work. So we'll just say the idea is couple walking in the field and the style of, let's just say anime, okay? So you'll see it call this other node here. It won't actually work, and we'll jump back over here in a sec, okay? We'll come back over here, we'll click on executions, and you'll see these errors coming in right here. We want to click on that, and then we want to go to debug in editor, okay? Now I'm not sure even why the hell that is still running there. That shouldn't be running. It must be a little bug. But anyway, so we'll see that there. And now when we come over here, the parent agent has actually given it the style, which was anime, and the idea, a couple walking in the field. Okay, so when we come over here now, we'll actually see this right here as well. So we can actually delete this and see the style is anime. So we can say style is anime, put a space, and the idea is a couple walking in the field. Okay, so now that information is now passed to this agent, right, the child agent, and it's receiving the style and the idea as well. Then let's create a prompt now. Well, so we're going to click on add option, system message, change it to expression, and then press this little button here. We're going to open this up and we're just going to put in the role, and we're just going to say something simple like, you are a master at creating image prompts that are very easily understood by image generation LLM models. Okay, we'll put some tasks in here as well. You will analyze the user's queries related to style and the idea and create 5 image prompts. Now for instructions, we could give it instructions, but the task is already quite simple for this model to understand. So what I want to do is actually give it the output. Okay, so I'm going to put in some hashtags again, say output, and I'm just going to go back over here, and I don't know why that's still running, and I'm just going to copy paste this structured output parser, the thing that we made earlier. I'm going to copy paste that, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually just refresh this because I have no idea what the hell is going on there. So we're back here again. I've just copy pasted that, and now I want to put in that JSON right here so it understands, oh okay, the output should be prompts and then image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5. Okay, so now we can actually even just test this before, you know, even continuing back to a parent agent and then redoing everything again. Let's just test this and see if it actually works. So what we want to see are 5 image prompts that it creates. So let's see. We'll click on play and we can see, okay, that's not working. And I can see the issue right here straight away, something to do with the memory. And if I look in here, there we are. It actually hasn't been set yet because we've only just done when executed by another workflow. So what we want to do here is just click on mapping, and we want to add in these right here as well. Okay, so now it's actually getting the context of the past messages that were delivered to it based on what the parent agent sent to it. Okay, so we can see it's anime and couple walking in the field. We're going to test it again and see what we get here. Okay, we have another error. So what I'm actually going to do, because I think I might actually be out of money on my Claude account as well, I'm just going to replace this and let's use O3 Mini. Okay, and this should be absolutely fine. So we're going to open up Open Router, or if you have access via the OpenAI node, use that as well. And then we're just going to use O3 Mini here. I'm going to place this over here. We'll test this step again. And then there we go. Okay, all done. So I think I'm actually out of money on my Claude account. But anyway, so I'll just delete that for now. O3 Mini is also, well, I mean, it's one of the best at the moment. So that's absolutely fine as well. So we can see the output here. It has prompts, okay? And then we see the image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5. We see all of these images right here. Okay, now that we have all our image prompts, now what we want to do is add a split right here. Okay, because this is actually nested within the output. Okay, now we don't want that because we want to go through one by one right here. So we're going to drag the output here. And then everything that's nested within the output, which are all of these image prompts right here, will actually be taken out, and then they'll become singular items. Because as you can see here, this one here is actually nesting them within output. Okay, so now if we click test step, what we'll get now is all of these images one by one. Now that's going to be important because we're going to jump over here, click this, and we're going to add a loop. Okay, now when you loop this, and if I test this step again, what's going to happen is one of these prompts will move over here, okay, and actually go through the process one by one, and then loop back around, and then take the next one and loop back around, and then take the next one. We want to go through it nice and slow so that everything is done correctly. So now what I want you to do is then create an HTTP request. So we're going to click on call, HTTP request. We'll move that up over here. And what I'm going to do is actually see this thing. We're just going to drag it and then loop it straight back here, back to our loop over items. And so each of those prompts is going to go through. It's then going to generate the image, come back around, take the second prompt, generate the image, and then come back around. Okay? And now we're going to go to replicate. So I want you to go to replicate.com, get registered, get signed in, get everything set up, and then we should be somewhere around here. Okay? If you're not here, just click on explore. And now we have a range of different image models, video generation models, all in the one place. Okay, so we don't have to go to each and every website and create different API keys and this and that. It takes too long. All we want to do is get everything set up in the one place and have access to everything. Now what I want you to do now is just scroll down to the bottom and you'll see all of these different categories right here. So we have generate images, videos, we got captions, transcribe, several different things. For now, what we're going to do is generate images. Okay, so I want you to click on generate images. Now we have all of these options here, really good options, but the number one in the world currently is this right here, Recraft. So we're going to click on Recraft. And what I want you to do now is we can see, a few examples and the prompts that they use for this, and we can see the price up here as well. So it's like 4 cents an image. There's 1.7 million runs. It's also available for commercial use, which is very important. Now we want to click on API. So what I want you to do right here, you'll see that this is a curl. Okay, so this can be actually imported straight into N8N without you having to type one by one, right? And who wants to do that? I'm lazy, I don't want to do that. So all we're going to do is just copy. We're going to jump back over to our N8N workflow. We'll have our HTTP request open, and we're going to click on import curl, paste that in there, we'll press import, and then everything that's within that curl previously will now be right here. Okay? So this is a very simple way to just get set up without you having to type each field and value one by one. Now, we can see the HTTP method here is a post. So let's verify that. Is that correct? Request post, that's correct. Okay? We see the URL, the endpoint. Okay, is that correct? Correct. I mean, everything's going to be correct anyway, but it's good. It's a good idea to just double check things. We have our headers right here with authorization, bearer, and then our replicate token. And now we're going to take our token, so we can see our token right here. We're just going to copy it, ensuring that you get all the numbers and letters here. We're going to come back over here. We're going to get rid of that replicate token thing. Just delete that. Put that in right there. Okay, and that's going to give us access to use this image generation model now. Okay, however, we still need to set up a few things. So you see in the JSON body here, we have input and we have the size, we have the prompt, a while, blah, 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 blah. I want you to click on expression. I want you to open this up. And for the prompt right here, because this was their original prompt, the kind of like a default prompt, we're going to delete that. And you see the loop over items, we have the output here. We're just going to drag that output straight into here. So now that output becomes dynamic with a expression. Okay, so we can see the results on the right hand side here, that it's and that's going to be the prompts going through one by one, and that will change for every prompt that it loops around and takes. It'll actually change as well, and that's exactly what we want. Now for the size, we want to have a look at the size and see what available options they have. So a good way to see that very quickly is just go back to playground. We can see the size string right here, and we can just see all the various sizes that they have. So in this case, I'll just go with 1024 times 1024. So I'll just delete that one there. 1024 times 1024. That's good. Now let's just check everything is good here. And if it's all good and you're happy with it as well, let's just click test step. And we should have an image. Okay, there we go. So we already have an image that's already created and made. However, we also want to be getting the actual image themselves. We can actually just copy that, open up another tab, paste it in, and there we go. There's our image right there. Now we can see there's some deformities in the image. Some things don't really make sense. And this is where our prompts and our actual child agent will actually have to be improving upon this as well, okay? Because you're going to be using all various different types of prompts as well. So we'll jump back over here now. I'll click on back, and now I want to loop this back around so that all of these items are then being looped through one by one, okay? And then after they're looped through one by one, I want to get the actual image, okay? So I don't want it to just be a link. I want to be able to retrieve that image directly in N8N. So we're going to click on, see the done right here? We're going to click on the plus sign, and we're going to click on HTTP request again, open that up, and we'll just move it up here. And just so you understand as well, this will be get image, and we'll just rename this one create images. And what we want to do here is actually get the image itself, okay? So from the output before, this is exactly what we want to retrieve, okay? This right here. So if we come over here, we're doing a method get, and I'll just go to create images up here and see the output right here. And then there we go. We now have the images directly in N8N for us to access. So we can actually just view these images right now. You click on view, and there's the second one. Let's go to the third one. You know, these are kind of random, to be honest with you, but fair enough. So that's how we're going to get the images. But what I also suggest, because sometimes some APIs and endpoints and so on and so forth do take longer. So between the done and the get image here, what I want you to do is click on the plus sign, and I want you to type in wait. And the wait amount, let's just give it 10 seconds per image, and then we have 5 images, so 50 seconds in total, okay? And we're gonna just say up here, processing images. And that just gives enough time for the image generation models to create everything and output everything, and then wait a little bit, and then we finally get the images. Okay, so we have them all right here. Now we can actually process each and every single image as well. So if we come back over to Recraft, now we're going to get a video generation model. So click on Explore. We'll come down here and we'll say, let's go to Generate Videos now. Now we can choose one of the various different types of video generation models as well. But since we're using our input as an image, okay, so we're not actually generating a video with a prompt from scratch. We're actually using an image as a reference, okay, and creating a video based off of that. We have the video 01 here as well. Kling is very good, so we have Kling right here. I mean, look, there are a lot of different models. You'll just have to go through them and find out exactly what you're after and everything as well. But let's say for this case, let's go with Kling, okay? So click on Kling, and we'll see here, they have a reference image right here, starting image, right? And then it has a prompt of what they want, you know, the actual output to look like. So we can see that prompt, a portrait photo of a woman underwater with flowing hair, and then it started off with just this image, and then the video output was actually like this, which is like amazing, to be honest with you, right? So we're going to use this right here. Let's click on API, and we're back over here again. We'll click on HTTP. We're going to then copy this curl right here. We're going to come back over to our workflow. We're going to press plus. We're going to put another HTTP request, and then we're going to go import curl, import, and then we have everything right here. But in this case, we actually want to take those images and then actually create videos from those images as well. So in this case, let's just move this out of the way. We'll create another HTTP request, click on core, HTTP request. Now, as we received that curl before that we copied, we're going to paste it in here, import it. Now we have it all here. We're going to get our API key again. So just copy this right here, copy, we'll place that in bearer, or just after bearer, okay? And there we go. So now we're actually going to be able to generate videos from the previous images. So we'll say here, create videos. We have that set. Now we need some prompts as well, right? We need some prompts like, as we can see here, a portrait photo of a woman underwater with flowing hair. And we also have the start image. So it actually needs to see the starting image as well. So how are we going to get that? Well, first things first, let's click on expression. Let's press this button here, and we see the start image. We're going to copy all that, not copy it, but actually delete it rather. And now let's actually get the expressions for the start image. So if we come back over here, we got loop over items, we change this to JSON, and then we have the output. We want to drag that output straight into between these quotes right here. Now we actually haven't got a prompt for these particular images as well. And in this case, we would probably add another agent to also create prompts. But a lot of the time, especially for consistency, we can just say simple things like add subtle motion, okay? And that just gives the image some subtle motion just to make sure it's not a static image, okay? We'll click back, we'll come back over here again. So we'll just check that's all good as well. Now, let's test it out, okay? So ensuring that we have everything in here, we're connecting to the right URL endpoints and everything. We click test step. Now, unfortunately, this will actually take 50 seconds, so I have to wait for that. It's going through the process of actually creating all of those videos for all of those images as well. So we'll give it a little bit of time here. And in the meantime, what I want to do is add another wait node right here. Since these are videos, this is going to take a little bit longer. So let's give it 30 seconds per video. We have 5. So we do 150 seconds. We'll add that and we'll name this as rendering videos. Rename, and there we go. All right, so now the video creation is done. So we can see here the output is null. And the reason why that is because it's still starting. So it's not actually created yet. Okay, we're still waiting for this to be created. So the whole process is going through now as like a rendering and creation process. Okay. Now, if we come back to what do you call it? To replicate, and we click on dashboard, we can actually see all of the things here which are running. So we have 5 things, okay, which are from the 5 videos, and we can see them all running right here. Okay, so if we actually refresh as well, it's probably not going to be ready yet, but we can see them. Eventually they will be processed and then succeed, and then we can actually view them directly within the replicate dashboard right here as well. So let's give it another refresh. Still running, and that's the thing. Video generation can take some time, so you do have to be a little bit patient. But I mean, honestly, you wouldn't be sitting here looking at it, right? You'd just be clicking a button, typing to your agent, and it's going to be making it. You come back in 10 minutes, and everything's already done for you anyway. Okay, so we'll just give it a little bit of time here, and I'll just cut. All right, so it took about 1.5 minutes, and we can see now that all of these have succeeded. Okay, now if we want to view them, we can just click on this and we can actually see the videos directly within the dashboard as well. Okay, so all these are the videos from the image generations that we just created before. Okay, but now if we want to get them within N8N, we're going to pop on back over here, and well, this is still rendering because it hasn't finished yet, but it is already ready. So what we're going to do, there we go, we're going to put another HTTP request here. I'm going to make that. We can actually get all these videos. Okay, so as we can see right here, this is still showing as output as null. So now that that's all done, what we're going to do now is actually click on the plus sign again, make another HTTP request. So you see this ID here. So this is the actual ID for that particular video. And what we're actually going to do here is get them. Okay, so you see this get right here. We're just going to drag it over to our URL, and that's actually going to get the video or the images from predictions/ID. Okay, so if we test this step now, so we have authorization failed. Now the reason why that is because we actually don't have our credentials in here. Okay, so we've got our API key and everything set up here, but I just want to remove this rendering videos very quickly, just so we don't have to wait, because it's going to be another 2.5 minutes or something. So I'm just going to drag that over here, connect this one here now directly to that, and now I'm just going to execute all of this again, all in the one go. I won't make you wait, but we'll just test this step, let it run through all the motions here from the start until the finish, and I'll cut back to it when it's all ready. All right, so it's just gone through the whole process here. Now that we have the get video at the end here, which I'll just rename get video, now we can actually see the output here as well and see whether it's still running or processing or whatever it is, or succeeded. Okay, so we can see a few are succeeded, some are still hidden, some are still just starting even. Okay, so this is still going through the process of everything. But just to make it quick now, and just to see everything within N8N itself and get the statuses, we can just test the steps to see what's going on exactly. Okay, so we can see succeeded, still hidden, this one's just starting, and this one here is just starting as well. So if we come back to our dashboard in Replicate as well, we can see that some are still running, some are even still queued, and one is successful. So we can see this video right here. If we want to download it, we just simply right click, save video as. And that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you learned something new. It is very, very important that you know these things as well, because executing child agents and using parent agents is very, very good practice to make sure that you're creating things and agents and everything like that that perform tasks precisely, reliably, and consistently. So I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one.